Hi everyone, it's Tish with Naptime Creations. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. It's free and it'll help me out a lot. So hit that subscribe button. Today we're going to be making a resin flower coaster, and we're going to be testing temperature on this flower coaster. So let's jump in and get started. Really quickly before we get started, I want to show you how I mix up my white for my flowers. I always use Angel White epoxy paste from Laura's Art Corner. I take 1 ounce of clear, and I basically take my little stir stick, mix up the product inside the product container, scrape off the excess on the side of the jar, and I'm only using the tiny bit that is left on my stir stick, and I'm just mixing that in with my 1 ounce of clear. So I'll mix it for a little bit, and then I'll actually take out the stir stick that I used to grab the product out of the jar, and I'll go in with a new stir stick and mix it some more just to make sure that white is completely mixed. I wanted to show this to you guys before we jump into today's video, but this is how I mix my white every single time. You can get the white from Laura's Art Corner. I'll link it down below along with my coupon code. This jar of white that I have, it's lasted me like over 3 years, so it really only takes a tiny bit, and you don't want to add too much white, otherwise you'll get big blobs in your coasters. Today we're going to be using the S RESIN epoxy resin, and I just went in and filled up my mold 2/3 of the way full, and this is my infrared temperature gun. You just point it at your resin, pull the trigger, and it tells you what the temperature of your resin is. Super easy to use. I picked this up off Amazon. I'll link it down below. It was like $12, so not too bad. So my white is only 26 degrees Celsius right now, and I want it to be about 30. So I'm going to let it sit for about 10 more minutes, and then we'll check it and see what temperature it's at. Here I'm just dropping in some pyrite chips from Laura's Art Corner. These are real pyrite chips, super sparkly and beautiful. I'm just going to push them down into that resin, and then we're going to go in and add some alcohol ink. I'm going to be using Sapphire Blue from S RESIN, and I didn't want this to kind of spill out like that, but that's okay. I'm just going to add a few drops, and then I'm going to go in with my silicone paintbrush and just swirl that blue around to kind of blend it. I did mix up my resin off camera just to save time, but if you're new to resin and you want to see a tutorial showing step-by-step how to mix your resin, I will link one of my tutorials down below in the description box. So this is about 10 minutes later. You can see it's 30.7 degrees Celsius. So we're going to go ahead and pour and see what our results look like. I will say that this was 40 minutes after I mixed my resin. The S RESIN epoxy has a really nice long working time. So the timing is going to vary depending on the brand of resin you use. It's more about the actual temperature. So just keep checking it. If you're not using this exact brand, just aim for like a 30.7 degrees Celsius temperature. And you can change it to Fahrenheit setting if you want to too. I just kept it on Celsius. So now we're just going to go in and pour our white, make our flower petals. I did pinch the side of my cup so I could kind of make like a spout and get a nice controlled pour. And I'm just going to make 6 large flower petals, and then I'm going to go underneath those and make a smaller size, and then underneath that and make another smaller size. So we're going to try like 3 petals going down in size as we get towards the center where those pyrite chips are. And I'll be sure to link all the materials I'm using down below in the description box, along with any coupon codes that I have. So if you guys want to get any of these products to try, it'll give you a little bit of extra savings. And I did a video last week with the same resin, and I did not wait to draw my flower. I just mixed it up and poured right away. And that flower turned out way different than this one did. So having the right temperature when you're making flower coasters really makes a difference. And when we demold this coaster, I'll insert a clip of how that coaster that I made last week turned out, where I didn't check the temperature. I just started pouring right after I mixed my resin, and you'll be able to see the difference. It's actually really crazy how much prettier the flower turns out when you wait for it to get around 30 degrees Celsius. I am also going to be testing different temperatures, so make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss those videos that are going to be coming up in the future. So that was it. I just added my white. I didn't add any heat to it. I didn't torch it. I didn't add my heat gun. I just let it kind of sit. And here we are the next day. We're going to fill up the mold the rest of the way with some clear resin. I like to slightly underfill my molds on that first pour because you never know which side you're going to like the best. So I like to slightly underfill and then the next day go in with a little bit of clear like this. And I wasn't crazy about the center, so I did drop down a little resin foil of a butterfly, and I'm just pushing that under the resin, making sure it's 100% covered. Gonna hit it with my heat gun to pop bubbles, and that's it. Let it dry for 24 hours and we'll be ready to demold it. And I get my resin foils off Etsy. They come on a sheet, just like a normal copy size sheet of paper. You cut out the image that you want to use, and then you can use it in your resin creations. I'll link the shop that I like to get mine from down below. But here we are ready to demold it. I thought, oh my gosh, I was just loving how this top side was looking. I wasn't sure how the bottom side was going to look, but I actually really love both sides. I did have a little bit of blobbing from the white where I was a little bit too heavy-handed when I did my flower petals. So next time, I think I'm only going to do 2 layers of petals and not 3, because you can see in some spots the white was a little bit too heavy, so it blobbed a little bit, but still really, really pretty. Definitely you want your resin to be a little bit warmer before you go in and do your flowers. It does make a huge difference on how they turn out. And here's the little clip of what I was talking about earlier. You can see the one on the top left, how much different it turned out. Today's video, it really looked like a beautiful flower in comparison. So the temperature of your resin really does make a difference on how these turn out. I just wanted to share this video with you guys. I am going to be doing more testing on it in the future, but let me know which side you prefer down in the comments. Do you like this side with the pyrite chips or the other side with the butterfly resin foil? Let me know what you think. I hope you give it a try. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and go check out a few more of my other videos. That would really help me out a lot. Helps out my channel if you watch a few of my videos back to back, and I'll link all the materials I use down below in the description box. I hope you guys are all doing fabulous, and I'll see you soon for another video. Bye guys.